Today, I'll be taking you about this concept that's called regenerative agriculture. For years, farmers have relied on conventional farming methods. This is a farming method that they have normalized on what we use. This method is included the tilling, where a farmer just dig the land and just plant the crops, and the use of synthetic fertilizers and pesticides. This is basically the use of inorganic fertilizer that has been made in the factories to meet food production methods. So we have the conventional farming method, which this entails conventional farming method, which this entails tilling of the land, tilling or digging of the land, and the use of fertilizers. This has mostly affected our land. This has affected our land because the use of these inorganic fertilizers have led to a land to lose its value. So today, I'll be taking you about regenerative agriculture. So make sure you write your notes. Let's get back to class. So first and foremost, my name is Ian Kangogo. I'm an environmentalist, silverfile, and a regenerative agriculture and permaculture designer. So these practices have led to landscape degradation and has caused numerous harm to ecosystem. This limits the use of conventional farming, limits farmers' ability to benefit from ecosystem services. So what is this regenerative agriculture? What is regenerative? What is regenerative? What is this a big word, regenerative agriculture? Who knows? Anybody who knows this regenerative agriculture? In a very simple way, this is an approach that seeks to restore and improve ecosystem health. What do I mean by an approach that seeks to restore and improve ecosystem health? Supports biodiversity and enhancing soil fertility. What do I mean by this term, an approach that seeks to restore and improve ecosystem health, supports biodiversity, and enhancing soil fertility? Remember, by the use of conventional farming method, we tend to have a very poor degraded land because of the use of inorganic fertilizers, which are harmful to our crops. And digging of the land, you will leave the land bare, numerous, and very hard. You cause the hard pan on the land. So this is basically a method of farming where we aim to reclaim our land back to the way it was and improve the ecosystem health to support biodiversity and enhancing soil fertility. This basically reclaiming our soil, which already been dismantled by the use of inorganic fertilizers and too much digging of the land. So this an approach of farming. It aims to regenerate our land back. That's basically what we mean by the term regenerative agriculture. This practice is increasingly recognized globally as a powerful tool to combat climate change. The first one is recognized widely to combat climate change, to ensure. Number two is to ensure food security in the world. Number three is to promote long-term sustainability of food. What do I mean by this? Is why is this regenerative agriculture recognized widely or globally? Because in the numerous years or season, there have been climate change has increasingly affected our places where we are, because we can find that there's floods are becoming too much. There is drought are becoming too much of rainfall, too much of wind. So in this approach of farming, this practice, it attempt to combat these factors that causes the climate change to rise. And also the second one is they ensure food security in the world. Normally, sometimes food in the world inaelekea kusha, because people are using this conventional farming where they tend to crop one type of crop in a field. But this type of practice, it ensures that we have numerous crops in a farm. Like, let's say we can plant maize, potatoes, beans on the same piece of land, rather than the conventional farming method where we can use one type of crop to be grown in the farm. Maybe you can see that there is conventional farming where there is a plantation of maize. We don't have any other method of we don't have any other type of crops, but we have only one maize type of crop. Other one is to promote long-term sustainability of food. Remember we have in some places in the world we have shortages of food in the world. So this can be a challenge, whereby by doing this practice of regenerative agriculture, we can sustain food for a longer period, numerous types of crop for a longer period than the use of the conventional farming, where we can sustain only one type of food, but it can end up being in the shortage because it can causes diseases like the kwashiorkor, the one type of crop. So that's basically a challenge that this practice sustains. So where was I? Where was I? So maintaining a healthy soil, maintaining maintaining a healthy maintaining a healthy soil. This kind of practice of farming, it seeks to build and maintain healthy soil as the development for sustainable farming. Maintain and maintain to build and maintain healthy soil as the development of farm. This is achieved by using practices such as this is achieved. So this building and maintaining healthy soil and development for sustainable farming is achieved through number one through the practice of cover cropping. Practice of cover cropping, where these are a type of, we plant crop that can cover the soil, where we can use the use of grasses, We can plant small crops that covers the soil, or the use of mulching, or the use of grasses and other type of crops that can cover our soil. The other thing is by use of crop rotation. Crop rotation. What do I mean by crop rotation? This is where basically where we, in a certain given area of land, let's say for example we are planting maize. Maybe in the next season, the next harvest season, when we harvest, we rotate another crop where we identify we can either plant beans or potatoes, so that we can able to destroy we can able to dismantle the pests that have been attacking the maize. Where we introduce another challenge to the pest by introducing another type of crop, let's say beans, so that we can be able to curb the pest that has been attacking our maize, or the crop that was initially on that given area of land. So we can do crop rotation. The other thing is minimizing minimizing tillage. This is basically reduction of digging of the land, because sometimes when we dig land, we tend to destroy the soil structure. So reducing digging of the land, to increase to increase organic matter in the soil. What do I mean by this? So we reduce digging so that we cannot destroy the soil structure in the soil. So by minimizing tillage, we tend to increase the organic matter in the soil by not breaking the soil that had initially been formed. So another thing is improve the water retention. Water retention in the soil. What do I mean by this is, we tend to retain water in the soil. We don't allow evaporating. So by doing this practice of regenerative agriculture, we tend not to we cover the soil, so that the water on the soil cannot be evaporated. So we cannot lose the soil by direct sunlight. So this will improve water retention in the soil by not allowing water to be lost in the atmosphere. So the other thing is we tend to reduce erosion, soil erosion or water erosion. Soil erosion, we tend to reduce erosion by soil cost, or water cost. What do I mean by this? So by doing this practice, we tend to reduce erosion. Maybe the soil can tend to reduce the soil erosion or the water erosion. So basically, when we cover our crops, we reduce erosion, because sometimes when we leave our land bare, we'll find all the important soil have been carried away by wind, have been carried away by flowing water. So by practicing this type of agriculture, we tend to reduce the soil erosion and the water erosion. So we can have our soil at its best condition. So that's all about why we need to build and maintain healthy soil for sustainable farming. The other thing is, uh, let me go down here. The other thing I want to take you through is the biodiversity. Let's talk about biodiversity. This is basically coming together. This is a principle. This is basically the coming together of. Let me talk about biodiversity. Biodiversity. This is basically all the things in an ecosystem. They are together and they are functioning. Biodiversity, in this perspective of regenerative agriculture, is one of the key principles of this practice. By diversifying crops and incorporating native plants, farmers can create habitats for beneficial insects. For beneficial, farmers can create habitat for beneficial insects, birds, and other wildlife creatures. So this tends to bring the creatures together so that they can function. This helps by bringing these creatures together, these insects, birds, and other creatures together. This help to naturally control pests and reduce the need for synthetic fertilizers. So the importance of this for this biodiversity is to to control pests and reduce the reduce the use to reduce the use of inorganic fertilizers. So that is what we intend by biodiversity in this regenerative agriculture perspective. In addition, this encourages the use this type of agriculture, regenerative agriculture, encourage the use of natural fertilizers such as the compost. So we have the natural fertilizers, namely we have the compost and the manure fertilizers, organic fertilizers, which are encompassed in the soil to organic boost organic manure in the farm or field. So remember when you use compost, manure, organic fertilizers, these type of fertilizers, they boost the soil by increasing by increasing the organic manure in the farm or the field. So this means that these organic fertilizers, they are food to the crops that will be planted on the field. So that's basically the natural fertilizer that we intend to use on this regenerative type of farming. So this improves the soil health and reduce reliance on synthetic fertilizers. By the use of this compost and manure, they improve the soil health and they reduce the relying on the synthetic fertilizers. The other thing I want to share with you today is the carbon sequestration. Is that the is about the carbon sequestration? Carbon sequestration. Let me underline. Yeah. So today I want to share with you about the This is another important aspect of regenerative agriculture. Healthy soils they act as a carbon sink, pulling carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and storing it in the soil. Have you understand that by this term? Healthy soil, they act as a carbon sink. They pull carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and storing it in the soil. This helps to mitigate climate change by reducing. They help. They help. Let me change the automatic. They help. Yeah, minute. They help. They help to mitigate. Remember the health, so they help to mitigate the climate change, and by this is done by reducing greenhouse gas emissions. By reducing greenhouse gas emissions. This practice significantly increased the carbon sequestration rates, making it a valuable tool in the fight against climate change. So, though that's basically what we mean by the term regenerative agriculture. So on the next topic we'll discuss about the principles. On the next video we'll discuss about the principles the principles The principles of regenerative agriculture. In the next topic, in the next video, we'll discuss about the principle of regenerative agriculture. If you know them, you can just name them on the comment section. Let's meet on the next class. Let's learn about regenerative agriculture, and make sure if you have learned about this thing in a small, make sure you do your own research. And by this is whereby I want to take you to the Lean Googie channel. On the latest video that he has showcased about his farm in I don't know is where in this farm is where located where. So he has done this practice of regenerative agriculture. Stay tuned. Make sure you like. Make sure you share. Make sure you comment. And most of all, you can back make sure and most of all subscribe to the channel. Let's learn and let's engage. Subscribe to the channel. Let's learn and let's engage. Comment and make sure you tell me the principles of regenerative agriculture as an assignment. Back. Let me go back. Let's engage. The principle of agriculture, regenerative agriculture as an assignment. As an assignment. Let's meet on the next video. Thank you.